All right, welcome to Chalk Talk. Today I have one of my favorite coaches to watch, and Coach Basile at Musselman High School for the boys. Coach, how are you?
Good, good. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to get you on. I've been wanting to get you on. I always enjoyed watching you coach. When I was at Jefferson for a while, I enjoyed coaching against you, and seeing your energy and your passion on the sideline. I'm a blue collar type of coach, collar type of guy, and that's what I see in you. And the energy and the passion and the way that your players play and your system and how they buy in. So I did want to get that off my chest early. I am a big supporter of Coach Basile, so I'm honored to be on the call with you today.
Well, thank you so much. The feeling's mutual. I enjoyed coaching against you, and you were a really good player, and so it was. I was glad I didn't really want to see you on the court anymore because you were very, very, very good. So it was always you always played hard, and like you said, you were a blue collar guy. You did a great job.
I do appreciate that. So, Coach, let's dive right in. You had the opportunity to coach my nephew, Jordan Holmes, and Jordan is just a great kid, and I clearly wanted to see him in the maroon and gold. But if he wasn't, then I wouldn't be anywhere else than to be under you. So, can you give me a little insight on what it was like coaching Jordan for the 4 years that he was with you?
Well, I'm sure glad he was in the green and white. Jordan was one of these guys who really had a lot of talent when he was younger. We recognized that early in his career. And I thought he had a good career. I mean, his sophomore year, he played on the varsity some. He was kind of learning the ropes. His junior year was a tougher year. It was a COVID year. I thought he had a really good year. But really, I think what really springboarded Jordan was his senior year. I thought that what he brought to the table was, he going into that year, his summer, I've never seen a turnaround in a kid like I saw with Jordan. He went from being a guy that was just a normal guy to being the real leader of the team. He worked. I remember we had a workout and we were doing some testing in the beginning. Some shuttles and the bench press. We were doing all our testing, and I said, "This guy is killing it. I mean, this guy was off the charts, and his leadership was really really good." And I said, boy, if I hope this continues. And I tell you, it did. It continued every day for him. And he went from being a good player to, a first team 4A All Stater and a player of the year in the conference. And he was a real, real big reason why we made that run last year, made the state tournament. I don't know if I've seen a bigger turnaround in terms of leadership ability than I have with Jordan Holmes from his junior year to his senior year. It was an unbelievable turnaround. And he always had the talent, but that leadership pushed us over the top.
Yeah, so let's touch a little bit about that off-season workout and what that means once the season starts. So my nephew is a huge Kobe Bryant fan, and he's always worn like number 24. And then his senior year, he wore 33, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
33 is it's special for us. We got the idea several years ago. We were getting new uniforms, and we knew we were going to have a good team. Our 2019 and made the state tournament, and we bought these new uniforms. And I realized, looking through the yearbooks and stuff, that nobody had a 33 at Musselman. And I'm sitting there thinking, we got the Celtic uniforms. Well, if you get Celtic uniforms, you got to have Larry Bird, you got to have 33. And the first kid that wore that was Logan Holloman, who was an incredibly hard worker for us. Went on as shepherd to play, and just a great kid. And so my wife and I kind of came up with the idea. I said, wouldn't it be nice to have a number that kind of signified some of our guys, their off-season work? And the only two people that had worn that number was Logan and Alonzo Molina, who was an unbelievable story at Musselman. He was a kid that got cut 3 straight years and grew to be about 6'4" his senior year, and came out and made the team, and had some different. He was a behavior disorder student coming through, and had some problems in the middle school. And his senior year, he was such a terrific kid, a great role model, made our team. Didn't play a lot, but was there, came every day, worked hard every day. And I never forget on senior night, we have senior night tomorrow, and his mother came down and told me, said, and she came down and she approached me. And I said, and whenever a parent approaches me, I think the worst right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And she just came up to me and said, Coach, I want to thank you. You changed my son's life.
Mm.
And I was floored. I didn't even know what to say.
Yeah.
But the kid went on to play college basketball, ended up playing, just got better and better. He grew to be 6'6" and went on to have a nice little career at Glenville State. So it was a great story. So we give that number to one kid in our program every year that we feel works the hardest in the off season. And when it was his turn, there was really all of our guys worked hard, but Jordan was above and beyond. So he just did a great job in the off season.
Awesome. That's a great way to honor people for putting in off season work, especially in an area where it's voluntarily mandatory.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean, to get to those
Yeah,
off season workouts, man.
it's
So
a necessity.
absolutely, 100%. Let's move on to this year. So you guys struggled a little bit early, but one thing that I've noticed is you never shy away from competition, and I think that's why you guys get stronger and stronger as the year goes on during the season each year. That's a testament to your strength of schedule, your coaching, and your kids believing in the system. So can you kind of walk me through some of the ups and downs, peaks and valleys that you've come across this season?
Well, I tell you, unfortunately, the last couple of years, we've had some pretty major injuries that have kind of really affected our team. 2 years ago, Brendan Dolman got hurt during the Jefferson game. Got just unfortunate. He just got undercut and nothing. It was just an accident, and he landed on his wrist, broke his wrist, so he missed most of the year. Last year, we had Isaiah Horner tore his ACL and wasn't able to play. And this year, we start off. Troy Willison had an injury in football that held him out to February. So we had a challenging schedule to begin with, and Troy's one of our leaders. So playing without him, and we replaced 7 seniors last year. That's really a lot to replace, and it wasn't like these guys didn't play. These guys were key contributors. So we knew there was going to be some ups and downs. We started 0-4. We had a couple games there we could have won. We had a late lead down at St. Albans and lost. We had a late lead against Sharando and lost. So things just weren't going well. We were 3-7, but really, I'm sorry, we were 2-7. But it was really a testament to our guys. They stayed with it. We kept preaching, hey guys, we're getting better. We play a tough schedule. I think with our schedule, we try to get that schedule to where it's preparing us for this time of the year. And I think it does help you. You play in these tight games. And in the beginning of the year, we weren't very fortunate. We weren't getting the breaks, and we were losing those games. And now we found a way to win some of these games at the end. And the competition around here is really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. So you touched on being 2-7 at one point, and right now you're what, 10-8?
We are 10-8 right now.
Yeah, you're 10-8. So you guys have gone on a nice winning streak, and you're playing against teams like Hedgesville, who are the favorites to a lot of people. And you beat Hedgesville, you beat Spring Mills, you beat Martinsburg. So what is it about your teams that creates this sense of resiliency and buy-in and playing in the big moment against teams when they're not expected to win, and coming in as
I think
still getting it done?
that like you said, you have to have a buy-in. And I think that's a big thing with our guys. We bought in, especially on the defensive end. I think in the beginning of the year we weren't bought in on the defensive end. And I told our guys, we're not good enough on offense to win on offense. We're going to have to win on defense. And that's what we've kind of done. And we've bought in. We've held people down a little bit better, and have given ourselves a chance to win these games at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. So, your community clearly knows all about you, but there's a lot of people outside of your community that doesn't, know who you are as far as just off the sidelines. What is it about you that just brings so much passion, so much energy to Musselman? And you're from Clarksburg, right? I don't know,
That's
how
right.
long have you been in Inwood? Just give us a little background on who Coach Basile is as a person.
Well, yeah, I'm born and raised in Clarksburg. My dad was a very successful coach at Clarksburg Notre Dame High School. So I've been here, I came up here for the opportunity to, to teach up here. And I got on as an assistant at Musselman with Rich Lyons, who was the head coach for a year. And I was just kind of in the right place at the right time. And Coach Lyons was really good and taught me a lot. And then after 1 year, he got out of it, went back to Virginia, and I was able to step into that job. It was I always kind of laugh. I said I kind of got the job because I'm not sure anybody wanted it.
What year was that?
It was a tough first couple years trying to build the culture. When you played, we could not compete with Jefferson. And it was tough. We couldn't compete with Martinsburg. I mean, we played hard. Our guys always played hard. But I think I just love the game. I grew up with the game. When I was little, my dad would take me to practice on Saturday mornings, and watching my dad's team play in Charleston, and in '86 they played in the finals, and just loving the game of basketball in West Virginia. I just playing in that state tournament was always a dream. I've been blessed to get to 7 of them. And truly blessed.
What was that first year that you came in?
My first year I came in was what was that? 2003?
Yeah, that was my senior year. Yeah.
Yeah, your senior year.
Yeah.
And you guys, got us really good. We weren't ready at the time. I think with Musselman at the time, we had kids they were good kids and they played hard for me.
Yeah.
But they were kids that came in November 14th, and I said, guys, and that's the thing I had to preach to our kids. You're not going to beat people like Jefferson or Martinsburg or Hedgesville. Back in that time, that's all there was. Mm-hmm. We're not beating those teams if we do that. So we had to find some guys that were going to buy into that concept, and we finally did.
Yeah, absolutely. Before we move on, let's kind of just talk about Musselman in general, just the support that you guys get in your athletic community. And it's a special place. I talked to Coach Thomas during the football year, and just really enjoyed talking to him. Great guy. But the buy-in from the community, the support from the administration, it just seems to be a small, close-knit community that really loves the sports.
It is. Musselman is a special place. Inwood's a special community. They come out and support us no matter what. Mm-hmm. We weren't winning. I don't know what I guess we were 2-7. We played Martinsburg, and we weren't doing well. I said, well, I don't know if anybody's going to show up to this game. And our people came out. I mean, they really came out and supported us, and they've supported us ever since. I think our student sections these last 2 Friday nights have been as good as any we've had since I've been there. Yeah. And they're with you. They're with you. I might have lost you for a second, Juwan. We still on?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Oops. Oh my. Wait a minute.
You're still good.
Okay, good. I don't know. My thing kicked off for some reason. We've been having crazy stuff with our computers. But yeah, the community support is really, really special at Musselman. Tomorrow's our we have a Spirit Day tomorrow. That's it's our senior night tomorrow, and it's Spirit Week. All of our students will show up in their green and white with their face painted, and they'll go absolutely nuts during that Spirit Assembly, and it's really a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun to watch it and to be part of it. So the community is really good. Our student body is really good, and it is really a special place.
Yeah, for sure. So let's talk some X's and O's. Couldn't be chalk talk without it. So you guys run a half court trapping defense that I picked up on when I was coaching with Tech as his assistant there. I don't know, it's a 2-1-2 or 2-2-1 that you put in. Very interesting defense, intriguing. I actually took it with me down to Florida when I went to Cocoa Beach because I felt like our teams were similar. Just blue collar teams that sometimes you have to throw a gimmick defense in to create some turnovers and get going. So that's one thing that you keep in your hip pocket that I noticed, that if things aren't going well or you need to make a run, you kind of throw that half court defense in. Is that something that you picked up on over the years, or did you always run that?
No, I kind of it's a good question, Juan. I kind of picked that up just kind of by accident. When I first started, our freshman coach was Chad Powell was our freshman coach, and he was running that a little bit. I saw in a freshman guy, I said, what are you doing there? He said, well, it's basically the 2-2-1, but we backed up to half court. Yeah. And I thought that was pretty good. especially when, you don't have kids that can get can be in that full court and cover the space.
Yep.
So it shortens up the space a little bit, and we do use it from time to time. We don't use it maybe as much, but we do sprinkle that in a little bit. And sometimes you get a turnover. Sometimes you stay with it for a little bit, and so it can throw a team off a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those defenses where if you do it too long, it can come back to bite you. But you know what I mean? Because if you stay in it too long, there's vulnerabilities in it, and teams can exploit them. But it's definitely good when you can catch them off guard and go to that. So let's talk about some keys to the game tomorrow. You got Jefferson coming in. It's senior night. They came off a win against Spring Mills, and they're starting to click a little bit. They have this year played a tough schedule. Going down south and playing 2 tough games. They played Morgantown and things like that. So what are the keys to the game for you guys tomorrow night?
Well, I thought Jefferson the first time. First of all, I think Jefferson's really talented. I think they got a lot of talent. They play really hard. They shoot a lot of threes. There's challenges there on the floor. There's some mismatches. I think the key with us in this game, I think where they really hurt us last time is we had too many live ball turnovers. So we have to protect the basketball. And they just absolutely destroyed us on the boards. So we have to compete on the boards. They were all over the boards. When they missed shots, they got second chances. I want to say they might have made 15 threes against us the first time. They shot it very well. We were not locked in defensively. So we have to limit those live ball turnovers. We have to compete on the boards, and we have to handle their pressure, because I think Coach does a good job of just mixing his pressures and mixing different things, and they go to it quickly, and so you have to respond to that quickly, and that's what we talked about to our kids, and that is a lot easier said than done, because they do it very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. When you play teams like that, it's trying to minimize those runs, right? You know what I mean? Like they can go on a 6-0, 8-0 run quickly, and it can turn into from a 4-point game into a double-digit game fairly quickly. So with you having a freshman, handling the ball, what are your thoughts and your words of encouragement to him, preparing him for Jefferson High School?
Well, he obviously it's going to be challenging for him. He's a confident kid. Not he's not a cocky kid, but he's confident. I think he feels like he can compete. The Jenkins kid is really, really good. And so we know we have to help Colton. The other guys have to chip in. We just can't throw him the ball and let him, bring it down the court every single time with the defensive pressure he's going to see. So we have to help him out some, but he's going to compete. He's going to make some mistakes, but he'll definitely compete.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Coach, that's all I have for you. I really do appreciate you joining. Could probably sit here and talk basketball with you for another hour, but I will let you get to bed because I know you got a big game tomorrow. We will be covering it live on Home Team Sports TV. We always enjoy coming to Inwood and covering your games at Musselman. Everybody's always so nice to us. So we are looking forward to being there tomorrow.
Juwan, thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure coaching against you. And when you played, you were excellent. And you're a class act. And good luck with the rest of your season.
Thank you so much, Coach. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.